Hello and welcome to Catching Up with Boruto, the podcast about catching up and first impressions of the anime Boruto. Better late than never, that's our ninja way. Hello and welcome to Catching Up with Boruto. My name's Johnny.
My name is Trey.
So guys, wow, this is the first episode back where we've actually been able to interact with you guys, even if it's been a little bit.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah. So all the episodes prior to this episode we made before we even had a logo. So now, everything's out there. We're putting podcasts out there. So far right now, the second episode is live for you guys right at this moment. So you guys
won't drawings of me and Johnny as Boruto characters.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, when I got those back from the guy who drew them, I was like, this is so awesome. Oh my gosh. And then I did the final edits with the backgrounds and words and everything, but oh my goodness. That gave me so much hype to keep doing this and to go head over heels into catching up with Boruto after seeing that. But yeah, so we got a few announcements real quick. First of all, please engage with us, guys. If you're hearing this and you haven't engaged with us yet, you need to stop and engage with us because we want to do that with you guys.
So far, Angela has. I don't know who you are, but I like it.
Yes, we just did a Instagram live that you guys are seeing in real time, but this will be delayed. Mm-hmm. And Angela came in and
she just watched the video.
Just watched. Yeah, why not?
We'll take it. We're excited about it. We're happy.
Yeah, it's always hard starting something like this because it's hard to get it out going. But anyways, we're not gonna stop. We're not gonna stop. We're gonna be here, and so there's that. Make sure to watch everything on YouTube so you can watch us here. I'm just recording in 4K because why not now? Mm-hmm. This will be the first episode in 4K. Puts us above everybody else. Take that, other Boruto YouTube channels.
Yeah,
what's up?
Better. We're gonna be
4K.
Better. Yeah.
Anyways,
then we're gonna get 5K and 6K and 7K and 8K. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
All the Ks. But anyways, so quick announcement, real quick. First engage with us. We're really active on Instagram. We also have a Twitter now. Then we have. We have a YouTube channel with these on there with our faces. You can see us. Mm-hmm. You look just like the drawings. Exactly. It's kind of crazy.
Actually, it was kind of creepy how accurate those were.
Yeah, yours is really on. If anyone's is on, yours is on. He got your beard and everything perfect. I think I'm going to actually reach out to him at some point and do something with him on the show. Even I don't know what it will be, but it was just so good what he did, so I'm
pretty cool.
Super appreciative of it. But anyways, we're on episode 8 of Boruto today. And make sure not to forget to go to our website, notaclick.net, and that is a click as in a group of people, not click.
So Q-U-E.
Did you like that? I don't know if that's a good one. Yes, Q-U-E. And our show, Catching Up with Boruto, is on there, and it has all the places to find us. If you're ever wondering, no matter what you listen to podcasts on, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spreaker, we actually have everything on I usually don't say them, but pretty much all the other podcasting things this podcast gets distributed to. But anyways, that's enough with the announcements. We can do the rest after the show. But let's go ahead and get on to the show. That was the wrong. I still don't know what I'm doing.
Little rest.
Here we go.
Boruto Uzumaki has arrived on the scene, you know?
All right. Anyways, I'm out of practice. I haven't done this in almost a month. And so I've actually forgotten which sound pads are which. I mean my cheat sheet right here. But anyways, guys, episode 8.
It could make for some interesting sounds in the middle of this.
Yes. Yeah. And by the way, as you're communicating with us, let us know what segments we should be doing, which ones you don't like. We're going to do some polls on Instagram, but we want your guys' help to build this show. But anyways, so it starts out, episode 8, with we hear someone saying, the comet has entered the constellation. Not something I think about when watching Boruto. but the destiny of the stars, the time for the harvest is near. And just as I thought, it's all up to him. And then we see who's actually speaking, and it's Tonari Utsuki. Utsuki.
Otsuki?
Yes, that's it. But anyways,
It's got 2 SUs.
that's what I was like, man, that's hard to say.
Otsutsuki. I don't know.
But anyways, Tonari is, if you guys don't remember, he is from Naruto. They actually did a video with him, movie with him in it. And I think it was, like the last something. Like, it was like the last movie of Naruto. And it was basically the in-between of him from the Great Ninja War in the end of Naruto Shippuden, and it's between that and Boruto. And so it's honestly, they made this to show like the love story of Naruto and Hinata. That's basically what it was, but it did bring in also Tonari and the Utsuki clan, the other half of I don't know. Yeah, so oh dang, I should have wrote this down. I didn't write this down. Anyways, so he's from this this movie, and so here you go. I just brought in this little bit of a blurb because I feel like he's gonna be in this show. If he's already in this show, it seems like he's gonna be important. So I was like, hey, let's go ahead and if you haven't watched Naruto Shippuden or that particular movie, let's go ahead and talk about him real quick so we're all on the same page as we go forward into Boruto. So Tonari was born of the Otsuki clan's branch family, leading his eyes to be sealed within the energy vessel at birth in place of vision. So he doesn't see. He doesn't actually like have eyes with vision, like seeing. He learned to sense the world around him instead, growing up with his father on the moon. So he's the guy on the moon, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So Tonari desired human friends, unlike the puppet servants that he had as his family. So that movie showed he was actually all alone. He's like the sole survivor of the Utsuki clan that was on the moon, and they're basically there to protect the Earth. So yeah. And then the Sage of Six Paths.
To protect the Earth from the moon.
Yeah, I know, right? Come on. Coward's way out.
Exactly.
But so the Sage of Six Paths was on the Earth, showing how to, use how to use chakra and everything, how to use ninjutsu. And his brother, because him and his brother are the ones who fought their mom and sealed her away the first time. So his brother went to the moon, and the Sage of Six Paths stayed on Earth. So his brother on the moon basically, had kids, but they're like very, very like pure blood. So they all kind of like have the Sage of Six Paths tats on them and everything. I don't want to get into if it's weird or anything because I think he went there by himself. I don't know how that works.
Shadow clones?
But anyway, so he's the sole survivor, and to have company, he had all these puppets, and they're basically like walking around. So it was like fake company. And in that movie, he actually was trying to get Hinata. He was trying to marry Hinata to make her his bride because she is the
Princess of the Hyuga clan?
Because she's the princess, right?
Yeah.
And so he was actually trying to woo her in that whole movie. Naruto wasn't being cool with Hinata. So she was getting kind of wooed because Naruto, is being Naruto. And that was the whole movie. And then they ended up fighting with Sasuke and Naruto. And this guy, they ended up beating him. Hinata picks, Naruto. And then kind of goes through their love story a little bit. Then just stops. And that's how Boruto gets made. Anyways, yes. So we got this guy, but he stayed up there. They're cool now. Everybody's cool. But he does have this like weird green chakra.
Really comfortable to not be, worried about a guy with your girl if he lives on the moon.
Yeah, and he's still watching them, so that's just kind of freaky. Yeah. So anyway, so we get this guy. This is an important guy. He is the sole survivor of the Utsuki clan. That's supposed to protect the Earth. from the. I'm trying to think of the clan's name that they originally came from. Anyways, we'll figure that out. Leave it in the comments. Let us know. But anyway, so so this guy is the guy who says the comet has entered the constellation, the destiny of the stars. It's time for the harvest is near, and just as I thought, it's all up to him. And so, who do we think that he's talking about?
Definitely Sasuke.
So he's probably talking about Boruto.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And it makes sense with this whole eye thing that's coming on that we have no idea about.
I want to know though.
Yeah, but we get some
Get some information.
information this episode. But anyways,
Start of it anyway.
yeah, I'll hand it on over to you, Trey.
All right.
Go ahead.
So after we have that very dramatic opening, we end up with Boruto and all of his friends inside of a movie theater because now the Hidden Leaf Village has a movie theater because we have some massive increase in technology since Naruto. So they've got this movie going on of basically it's a ninja movie. So like these ninjas like watching movies about ninja. All right, cool. So they're in the movie. Basically, there's some bad guys are saying some stuff. They got a couple hostages, and they're like, these guys no one's ever gonna come to save you. You're in trouble. You're not gonna make it. And here comes the main hero of the movie, the ninja, evil jammer Kagemasa. And he comes to save
What a
them.
name.
Kagemasa. I mean, evil jammer's
Evil
weird.
jammer?
That's a little weird.
I don't get
But Kagemasa's kind of cool.
Yeah. Why is it evil?
I don't know.
I guess because of the eye thing.
I guess you can technically call him like he's like the Batman of the ninja world. You know, he's kind of
Yeah.
like bad but good.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You can see that.
Yep.
Anyway, he comes to save him, and he has this evil eye power. I like your note there, looking like the eye of Sauron.
Literally looks like the eye of Sauron.
It really does.
When they like was zoomed in on it, I was like, "Come on, guys, really?" Besides it being like it's not an oval, but it's a perfect circle now. But it was eye of Sauron, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I thought it was kind of funny. Like in that scene, is like at the very end, he goes, "My evil eye power destroys all people, but it spares hostages."
Yeah.
That line just made me laugh. I don't know why.
He was like, "Okay,
It's like, all right,
thanks."
So,
It was like, yeah, the
safe.
benevolence. He was using these huge, like, really important words.
yeah,
Benevolence.
we gotta ask Mara what they mean.
Yeah. We'll have her on the podcast at some point.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, she's the one that Daya.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I forgot about those.
I need to record that and put it as a sound.
All right, so movies are over. They're going to get some burgers, and Boruto, or so. So yeah. Anyway, they're getting some food at the end of it. They're kind of talking about it. Boruto doesn't like him. What in the world?
Yeah, so they're all talking about Kagemasa. And
That's right. I was
they're all like, "Oh yeah, he's so cool." Blah blah. blah. And they said, "What do you think, Boruto?"
that's
Boruto's
what
like,
he meant.
"Eh."
I was like, wait, Boruto doesn't like Shikadai. I was like, that's not right.
No,
They're
no.
friends.
I need to keep on putting these names in here.
That's my fault. All right. So Boruto's kind of talking about how he doesn't like Kagemasa. And he's like, oh, they're talking about like how his taijutsu wasn't quite, or like they're like, someone were like, his taijutsu was so cool. And Boruto's like, oh, it's not quite up to par. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? He was awesome.
Yeah.
That's where we got. I gotcha. Yeah. But we'll kind of wonder if Boruto's really telling the truth later on in the show. All right. But Shikadai, he kind of says Boruto can't keep his eyes off him. Like he was sitting there, he was watching the whole show. Like he was into it.
Yeah.
He's just,
Oh, yeah.
he's just trying to play it cool.
Yep.
Like, yeah, he's not that cool. My dad's a Hokage. Like he's way better, clearly, and I'm better. Obviously, he would never admit that because he pretends he doesn't like his dad. But I have a theory that that's not true. I think he's a little more proud of Naruto than he admits. Am I wrong? Maybe. We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Yeah. All right. So Denki's kind of just asking, he's like, that's a good segue that I didn't really anticipate there. Denki's kind of starts talking about, he's like, is Naruto that cool? Like, he's got to be that awesome, right? Which we all agree that Naruto is like the best, obviously. I mean, who would not want to have? Okay, that was gonna sound really bad, actually. The Nine Tails Beast Power, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Right? So like, he's awesome. He's really cool. But Boruto's just like, he's embarrassed by his dad. He's like, no way. He's like, he's not cool at all. He's like, he can't, goes in flashbacks. Like, I tried to bring him some clothes earlier, everything. He was like exhausted. Paperwork's falling on top of him. He's like, my dad doesn't even know how to put his shoes on properly in the morning. Like, he's basically just ripping him up and just like, he's not cool at all. You guys just think so, and you don't see the actual real Naruto. But they kind of talk about it after. It's like, yeah, everyone thinks they they always want to meet your heroes, but sometimes they tend to let you down, right? So
Yeah, that's how that works.
yeah. So it's like, yeah, but it kind of just goes in. Everyone's human. Everyone has problems. Everyone has a bad day. If they don't have their coffee, they might not put their shoes on, right?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't.
I totally one time I was so tired when I was in the Air Force, I put my boots on before I put my pants on.
Nice.
It was so awkward.
Yeah, that'd be awkward if you walked out. Did you walk out?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was in my bedroom still, thankfully. I was just
That'd be
like, what
awkward.
am I doing?
Yep. I accidentally put boots on because we had a few different pairs of boots, and I had one pair that I had to like take the shoelaces off of because other ones had broke. So I had one pair that didn't have any shoelaces because I took shoelaces and accidentally put that on. But I actually like had that on for like 4 hours until I could switch it again. So it was rough.
That's
But
an
no
awkward
one,
day.
no one knew. No one knew.
That's awesome. No one caught it.
Yep.
Anyway, a little glimpse into our pasts. All right. Okay, now I got to check. All right. I jumped ahead a bit. All right. So, cool. All right, train ride. So, so they kind of start going in. They start talking about the shadow and what's going up with it. They're thinking about like what's taking people. Kind of flashback to Shikamaru and Naruto about talking about like what's going on with the shadow. So it kind of like gives us that first. I guess they really talked about it a little bit in the last episode, but it gives us the first like real glimpse that Naruto and Shikamaru are actually really looking into this shadow. They know what's going on, but it kind of seems like Boruto and the guys don't actually know that they know that they're looking into it,
Right.
because they get so apart with like, should we talk to our dad or should we talk to your dad and see what's happening? Like, no, I don't want to rely on them. So it's like maybe they don't realize that they know more about what's going on.
Yeah.
But they kind of start talking about some stuff and like where it's centered, and it seems to be happening a lot around the academy. It's true. I mean, like we got Denki got hit with it, then Rock Lee. Yep. He got it. The guy working in the academy. Then we got
Metal-y, sorry.
yeah, Metal Lee. I knew I was wrong with that one. So yeah, Metal. The sensei, he got it. So basically, it's pretty well centered around the academy.
Yeah.
So they're kind of wondering like what's going on, and Boruto seems to be involved in all of it. So Naruto's kind of like he's sitting there, like, is there something going on? Like, is there someone going after my son?
Yeah.
And then Shikamaru's like, no, your son's just nosy.
Yeah. He just
about it.
knows. He always finds his way in there. Then
He just gets himself into trouble, just like you did when you were a kid, basically.
Yep.
Yep. Father like son.
Yep. But Boruto's being freaking selfish. So selfish because he just doesn't want to get like, oh, then adults take over. He gives them I think they're excuses, but he keeps on saying like, oh well, if we tell them, then we won't be able to do anything. And they've been hurting our friends, so we need to take care of it. It's like, come on,
You got a bit of a hero complex.
you're just being selfish. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just want to be the one that takes them down. Get some acknowledgement from your dad, probably.
Yep.
Come on.
Get that little,
Come on.
get a little proud moment from him, which
Yeah.
he totally acts like he doesn't want, but we all know he's got to want it.
Yep. And then actually, then we get Boruto in his room, and he does a shadow clone jutsu and summons 3 other shadow clones. And
It just
then
makes me laugh. Like, rather than talking to yourself, you make clones of yourself to talk to.
I would love to do that.
I mean, the way Naruto did it to study one time, that would be the best
Yeah.
thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
That would be the best. But anyway.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
digress.
so he ends up making shadow clones to talk to someone to figure out all this shadow issues. I kind of missed the purple chakra. I forgot what we used to call it, but they're calling it shadow. So I digress. We'll call it shadow.
All right.
Our stuff was cooler.
I
Anyways,
like it that way.
So then they were talking about the shadow has influence over people's emotions. Then they were kind of talking about, is it chakra? Do you think it's chakra? All these questions that we've been having, they're finally starting to bring up now. And then they were kind of saying, well, one of the clones said like, well, chakra doesn't usually act like that. And then, but then they're like, well, but the Byakugan is able to see. Actually, no, that's later. Sorry.
Yeah.
So then they're talking about that. And then one of them says, maybe we should talk to Dad. And then once again, he's so freaking selfish. If people die because of Boruto's selfishness, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
But I mean, that on the other hand, since one of the shadow clones says that, that also tells you that like
He's thinking
Boruto's
it, too.
thinking that maybe I should talk to my dad.
That's
Like,
true.
It's in there. Like I kind of thought that was interesting. But so it's almost like the shadow clones like change into different spots of his personality. It's like they're fighting, kind of like the devil and the angel on the shoulder kind of thing. It's kind of what I kind of picture of it. Actually,
That was the responsible one.
yeah.
I kind of see that because after he, that one's demeanor too was like very like responsible, you know. But anyway, but then he says no, but he doesn't want to be taken out of the loop, so they don't tell, of course. And then, but then Boruto sneaks out to eat, and
Meets up with Shikadai.
yep, meets up with Shikadai, and they're just eating. And then, of course, Mitsuki, he's just gonna be the creep. You know, he's just gonna show up and no one knows it.
He's the only one that's a real ninja because he can sneak up on people without them noticing.
Yeah, he is super fast too. So it must be how he's able to do this. But anyway, so yeah, Mitsuki sneaks up on them, and then they start talking about Baruto's mom because they're like, you know,
You're not supposed to talk about your friends' moms, man.
I know, not right there.
Yeah.
Come on, man. But yeah, so they start talking about, you know, the Byakugan, and that's when Mitsuki says, oh, one of the 3 great visual jutsu, and then they freak out. So I'm guessing the 3,
Is it they're talking about
Sharingan,
Byakugan and the Rasengan? Or not
Renegan.
Renegan.
They must be talking about the Renegan.
would
That's not
assume
really, everyone has that. That's a very, you can't get that.
No.
Besides like few things, like the only reason Sasuke has it is because of the Sage of Six Paths gave him that little power boost that one time.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess that's what they're talking about. I don't think I'm missing anything else.
I can't think of a third one
Yep.
besides those 2 and then the Renegon.
Yep. So then I guess whatever Baruto's got going on, if it's not one of those, it's a new thing, I guess. So I guess that would mean that he's the first one to have it if no one's ever known about it. But who knows? So anyway, then they talk about maybe talking to Baruto's mom, since, you know, she has one of those visual.
Wanting it to do forever.
Yes, he needs to talk to his mom because if this is some version of the Byakugan, and that's why he can see chakra, and I think that's what they kind of talk about, like, yeah, like, oh, well, that can see chakra, so that would make sense if this is chakra. So then they're like, yeah, well, maybe we should talk to her, but then Baruto kind of starts having like a memory, like a visual memory of like going to his grandpa and, you know, very like stern, like when he looks at him. So
Grandpa Hugo's he's a scary guy.
Oh, he's a boss.
I feel like had his well, I mean, I guess his brother stepped in for him to get himself killed in order to take place, but like he was gonna kill Neji.
Yeah.
But then he finally became a decent guy, but still, that's a scary dude.
Yeah. And they're like, the whole Hyuga clan is very not accepting, I guess I would say. They're very very strict, and they think they're just better than everybody. So
I had a joke I was going to make, but I didn't think it was very appropriate.
Oh, okay. There you go. But Baruto's kind of like scared to bring up this whole situation to his mom because he knows that he'll have to talk to his grandpa because he's the boss. He's the Hyuga clan boss, you know.
Which, did we ever
the
determine?
Godfather.
Did they ever determine like if Hinata or her sister is the one that's supposed to like take over?
I think it's Hinata.
Well, I remember.
But I don't know.
I remember in Naruto, like Hinata was supposed to, but then they were saying like her sister was it Hammurabi? No,
Himawari. Yep.
Yeah,
I have it in here somewhere.
Or is that their daughter? Is that Baruto's sister?
No. Oh, that's Baruto's sister.
Okay. So I don't remember what her name was.
Skipping down, Hinabi.
Hinabi, there we go. Because they were like, she was like way more natural than Hinata,
Right? Yeah.
And, like he was like, oh, she's gonna be the one that'll take over instead, and like I don't remember if they ever really determined that, but I remember the Great Ninja War.
Yeah, they were
she
talking
ended up
about that. You're
dominating.
right.
Like she became pretty awesome. So
Yeah,
maybe
she's a boss.
yeah, she is. I'm sure Baruto's scared of her.
Oh yeah, but that's Baruto's aunt. But anyways, we'll get to that part. If you want to go ahead and start taking us up on Baruto has a dream.
Ooh, and he dreams of basically being awesome.
Yeah.
So basically, dream comes up, and the guy that we were talking about earlier, Tanore Atsuki, says that the power in his eye will shoulder the fate of the world. So basically, this kind of dream of being this amazing person and gonna save the world, and he's gonna be the best. Which, you know, let's see, he's the protagonist of the show, so obviously we all saw that coming.
Oh yeah,
duh. But still pretty cool. It kind of talks about it's like the eye will guide you to dispel the darkness. and his eye awakens once he wakes up, his eye awakens, and he sees the reflection. So he kind of sees that that thing that we've been seeing, where it's kind of got that white, almost like cataracts looking.
Yeah, it's like
thing.
black around and like super light blue in the middle.
Yeah.
But I thought it was pretty cool because he was like, "Oh, I'm seeing it right now, like the normal thing. Shoot, I gotta hurry up and run to a mirror." Because he doesn't even know like what's going on.
Yeah, we've been seeing this eye thing, but he hasn't noticed it. But that kind of brings up one of the questions we talked about before. Was like, I remember like episode like 2 or 3 or something like that. We were talking about like, did any one of his friends around him see it, or was that just something that was there for us to see?
Right.
So that kind of tells us clearly that that's actually something.
It's actually
that
something that can be seen. So I bet you if you go back in all those episodes, everyone else is behind him or something, because
or they're just very unobservant.
That'd be a big plot hole.
It would be. Anyway. But anyway, so he actually sees the reflection, and of course, he gets super excited about that, and then he goes into his weird Kagemasa rant. So obviously, we know that he likes Kagemasa.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the little glasses. He's like, he thinks he's basically starts acting like he's a superhero. Then it's pretty cool. Like,
I almost wrote down all those super lame sayings he was doing because he thinks that all those things are so uncool, and then next thing you know, he has the one eye thing just like Kagemasa. So he starts saying like
something weird.
My
I'm the light in
Byakugan.
the darkness.
Yes, and like my Byakugan, I will see everything. Blah, blah, like, oh, it's so cheesy. But yeah, but he goes on a crazy rant.
Mm-hmm. But we were all kids like that and wanted to be someone cool, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I definitely wanted to be Goku. Anyway,
Who wouldn't want to be Goku?
I don't know. He's kind of dumb.
Well, just give me his powers.
Yeah.
I'll take it
I
after.
feel like I'd rather be good Vegeta though. Like after he was not being evil anymore.
Okay.
'Cause at least he's not like a complete idiot.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Anyway, so we get to Naruto and Shikamaru. They're talking about the chakra being drained, and like, is that what's like really happening? Oh, it still kind of goes back to. Oh, sorry. I was thinking or Boruto and Shikadai. My bad. So they're kind of like talking about like they've kind of noticed that the people of the village, they're in the hospital, and the thing that they've noticed is that the chakra is being drained. So it's not like. So that kind of like gives us a little hint about what's going on. So that shadow I think really is chakra, and it's maybe like showing their chakra leaving their body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Because it's doing something.
Yeah.
It takes them over, but then as it leaves, it pulls all their chakra.
So do you think it's like they're acting that way because the character needs to use their chakra in order for them to take it?
With them, like, because it puts them in certain moods, I think it can't just attach to anyone for any reason to take their chakra. I think they have to be in a certain mood. So it must be like something this thing represents. So maybe this thing represents, anger, and I'm trying to think of all these other ones like, I'm a disappointment,
Shame.
Yeah. So I guess all the bad feelings.
Yeah.
So I'm almost like, is this like a bomb? Because that's what I'm thinking. Like, it's like storing up all this chakra. And I'm thinking like the super beast bomb. What is that called? Is that right?
I think so. Something like that. Or like the way that the
tailed beast bomb.
Oh, yeah,
super. Where am I getting super from?
I don't know. Somewhere around there.
But anyways, what?
Or like the way like the Akatsuki had to like drain the chakra out of
the
tailed beast in order to try to awaken the 10 tails.
Yeah. So this, I don't know what this thing is, but it's definitely pulling all the chakra out, and it seems like it has to wait for certain people. But yeah, so this is just a little scene where like Naruto, we see Naruto and Shikamaru, they're still on it, and it's actually causing a lot of paperwork for Naruto.
Like he needed anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're kind of talking about that, and they're kind of wondering if Boruto is being targeted. But finally, they're kind of thinking that's probably not the case, but he's going to warn Boruto just in case. But at this point, like, you can tell Naruto is just exhausted. He has clearly been in the office, not going home and sleeping or just worried about stuff, constantly just working. So Shikamaru was like, all right, dude, you are way overwhelmed and exhausted here. You need to go home. So he finally convinces him and gets him to go home, and Naruto's so exhausted that he can't even walk home by himself. Shikamaru actually has to take him home.
Yeah.
So, which kind of makes you wonder how a guy like that powerful and with like that much chakra and energy, like how could he get that exhausted?
I know. He must be mentally exhausted.
Yeah, that's gotta be-
otherwise.
There's got to be something going on. In
And
there.
why doesn't he use shadow clones? Like,
know.
he uses shadow clones for the dumbest things. Why not for your paperwork? Everyone gets one paper.
Oh
That's
my
what I
goodness,
would
that
do.
makes so much more sense. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so I get so mad every time I'm like, oh, I'm so behind and I can't be with my family and I'm a terrible dad now.
So he's like, yeah,
The answer to everything else is always shadow clones. Why isn't it shadow clones now?
exactly.
I don't know. I guess that'd be a
man.
plot hole.
Well, I mean, it has been well established that Naruto's not the smartest person in his personal life. So,
That is true.
but Shikamaru is, so he should have come up with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, he's only beginning.
But he's the Hokage. Anyway, so he gets home and you can tell he's exhausted. He talks to Hinata, and they're kind of all of a sudden they hear something. They hear Boruto yelling upstairs, and he's kind of like yelling those weird Kagemasa quotes and whatever. And Hinata and Hammurabi are like, Baruto's been acting kind of strange. So they run upstairs, and they've like they see him with the Kagemasa glasses, and he's just being a dork basically. And they're kind of Naruto's just like, what is going on? And so he finally kind of talks to him, and Baruto's like, Dad, I've awoken the Byakugan, and everyone's just kind of like, what's going on? Actually, was that beforehand? No, hang on. So at first he's like, oh, he said, oh, that's what it is. He says, Dad, I've awakened this amazing power.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And he's like, what did you do? What happened? Did you steal the scroll or the scroll of sealing? And he's like, what's that? And kind of goes into like, or Shikamaru just kind of goes into, oh, just years ago, this one guy wanted power really fast. So he stole this forbidden scroll and learned these jutsus. And it was a bad thing for him to do. And Baruto's like, who would lump me in as someone like that? That guy's dumb.
Yeah. So uncool.
Exactly. Who was that?
Naruto.
Episode 1. The start of it all. So, no, he hasn't. But he says that he has awakened his Byakugan. And so he's all excited. But Naruto's like, Byakugan? I don't think so. Kind of just shuts him down a little bit. And he's like, the Byakugan requires a lot of training and experience in order to awaken. Like, it doesn't just get awakened. And he says he knows that he has not gone through enough training. But there was one thing that kind of like caught my attention. He said there are certain scenarios like Hammurabi who have awakened it. Yeah. Hammurabi's like 4 years old.
I know.
So she's awakened the Byakugan?
I guess so, but usually when they awaken it, their eyes stay that color. So maybe it was a temporary thing. But I'm trying to think about like, I don't know. Because I guess we didn't see Neji or Hinata before they had awakened it. They had already had it.
Yeah, they've always had
when we
the eye
saw
color.
it.
So maybe it's just like they were more,
or they had
more
already
skilled at that
awakened
point.
it.
It's like they awakened it before they ever went to the academy.
I guess you're right. Yep. But I guess they did enough training because they're in their family and their family's
Grandpa
making
Hyuga.
them train.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. So I guess she's already awakened it. But usually, their eyes stay that color, but her eyes are still like blue. So I think they're blue. I forget. But yeah. So it's weird, but
kind of like, tell us a little bit. Like, holy crap, how did she do it?
yeah. And it is a different visual jutsu because this, you have to like do like crazy training. But the Sharingan, you got to use it when you can,
Oh, absolutely.
But the Sharingan isn't training; it's the feelings aspect. Usually, it's like anger, sadness, those kind of
like tremendous loss.
right. And so every time, like, I guess there were certain things where they had to train. When it first gets awakened, it's all about that like hatred and those kind of things. That's why like Itachi wanted Sasuke to hate him because he knew that it would just feed that, and they would need Sasuke someday. But anyways, so it's a different jutsu where you'd have to do extreme training. And Baruto's eating way too many burgers and hanging out with the boys.
Yep.
He hasn't been training.
He's not. He definitely does not have. He's got the natural raw skill, but he doesn't have the drive like Naruto had.
We haven't got any cutscenes yet of him just training.
Nah, he's just doing his thing.
Nope.
I wonder if it's just more like because of the way the Hidden Leaf is right now. Like it's not so much they're not at war. They're not like the world's at peace. They're not really having to do that. So it's kind of like, oh, whatever, just live our life. Which,
Playing video games.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he says doesn't have enough training. And well, whatever way it happened, Boruto did not like the way that Naruto went about it. I was like, he probably could have been a little nicer, but basically kind of just said, dude, you don't have the motivation or the skill to do this. Well, it's like, nah.
Yeah, he just straight up shames him.
Yeah. He's like, you're not good enough for this yet. I was like, you could have been a little nicer.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they kind of talk about like, well, I can't know for sure. He's like, I don't think you do, but I don't know for sure. So the only person, there's one way to really find out. And we got to set up a meeting. So Hinata makes a phone call to Grandpa Hyuga.
I guess it would be a phone call. Who knows nowadays?
I guess.
Have we seen a phone yet?
I think we have.
I
can't remember.
I'll remember next time I see it. If
they got movie theaters, they have a phone.
They got movie theaters, computers, all this kind of stuff. They must have a phone.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
So she sets up a meeting. So like they're getting ready to. So we know that he's gonna go meet, and we're gonna see Grandpa Hyuga, and we're like, oh, that's a little terrifying. I remember what he was. He was a pretty tough guy. I mean, I guess the last time we saw him, he kind of softened up a little bit, but still, he's pretty rough.
Pretty rough guy.
Yeah. Anyway, so goes into Shikidai and Denki are talking about the Byakugan and like how cool it would be if he had it. Like, oh, you can see chakra. You're this super cool person or super awesome skill. Kind of like really talking about it. But
Mitsuki actually shows. I didn't write that, but yeah, Mitsuki just randomly shows up again on him. Yeah. I forgot what he says, but
I don't remember. But it was something along the lines of probably talking about what the Byakugan does and how it sees chakra, that kind of thing. So anyway, we get to the part where they end up into the Hyuga clan, which is kind of weird. Like they have their own like section of the village, which I guess the Sasuke's family did as well. Yeah, like they had their own area. That one made a little more sense because they were like the police force, so they were trying to keep them separate from the rest of the village. Well, I don't know why the Hyuga clan.
Well, they also did that to. They put them on the edge of the village because they're so dangerous. Yep. But they did that after the Nine-Tails Fox attacked, and they knew that it was being controlled with the Sharingan.
That's right.
So they're like, yeah, it was probably one of those guys who did it. So
half shun them.
We're just gonna put them on the edge. Yep,
that's right. I remember that now.
It's kind of messed up, everything they did to them, but.
Anyway, then they all got killed, so sad life.
Yep.
Anyway, so flashback to going to the meeting, and you see Grandpa Hyuga there, and he is not the guy that I remember at all.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, grandkids, how's it going? I'm so happy to see you. Acts like what you'd expect your grandparents to act like.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
You know, I mean, it goes to what you say, though. If you raise your kids, you don't have to you can spoil your grandparents, but if you spoil your kids, you're going to have to raise your grandkids kind of thing. So maybe he just took that one to heart.
Yeah, I guess so. But he was like hugging them and the red cheeks and all that. He is, I guess having grandkids changed him up a little bit, maybe at least with his grandkids. But he is completely different. I mean, we're not talking about like killing your own people because they're stepping out of line. We're like
making the non-direct kit or lines of the family a slave by their mark that they had.
Yeah, that mark, yep. And then also, like, you can tell when the Hyuga clan is a Hyuga clan. Like, they have, like, the same looks and everything. And, that's they protect that because this Keki Genkai, I think I said that right, gets, the Byakugan, that's what that is, gets passed down through their family. So, they don't want anyone getting this all willy-nilly. So they're kind of like controlling their power. So that's why they take it on like very, it's being very responsible. Well, Naruto is no way, shape, or form in this clan, And so when he has kids with Hinata, he kind of breaks like this whole like thing, I think. So
I mean, Hammurabi looks very much like a Hyuga. But Boruto definitely looks like an Uzumaki.
Right, so that's where it's like...
Actually, no, Uzumaki's his mom's last name, isn't it?
Yeah. Huh. So I guess he looks like... What's the dad's name?
They didn't give us his last name.
I don't know if they did, yeah. He's just the fourth Hokage.
They said his first name at some point, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh well, I'm not gonna waste time.
Yeah. We'll get back to it eventually.
Yeah, but yeah. So it's like I've kind of wondered about that. Like, wouldn't he be mad? Because this is his thing about like keeping the family structure. There's a high part of the family, low part of the family.
But I mean, like, Naruto did become the most powerful ninja, like, in existence. So it's like,
Bring it on in.
You gotta marry the princess of your clan off to someone. I guess that's the one to choose.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, and that's where it's like, I mean, is he really hurting our blood? I think we need some of that. So I don't know.
But then again, well, I guess it is. There is a bit of a bloodline because Fourth Hokage obviously was awesome.
Yeah.
And then a lot of Naruto's power comes from the fact that he's got the fox. So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Kima, whatever his name is.
Who?
Kima, or what's his name? Not
Who?
His name. The fox.
Oh, the fox.
We're so good with names right now. We've been off a little bit. Sorry.
Kumara, was it?
Oh, we're in trouble.
Uh,
I don't know. We had a couple episodes where we got mad.
Kurma.
Yeah, we're in.
Kamer. Anyway.
Starts with a K.
Yep.
Anyway. But
that was a tangent.
Yep. So anyway, so their grandpa's being embarrassing, and then we see Hinabi come in, and she is all grown up, and so like she's kind of like talking about like, oh, how's it going, Naruto? Oh, she goes and talks to her nieces and nephews, except she calls herself big sister Hinabi.
Did she say auntie? I think she said auntie.
She said big sister.
Really?
At least in the English version.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was watching Japanese with subtitles. It said auntie.
In English, she said big sister.
Okay.
I wonder if that's like a translation.
Which one's better? Which translation's better?
Probably auntie.
I'm just kidding.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I guess. She looks like the same age now that like Naruto was in Shippuden. So this is like the 16, 17-year-old version of her. Like same age as like all the other ones that are grown up now that were kids. So yeah, I'm kind of wondering. I think they're gonna put her with somebody. I'm trying to think about who she would be with, but I don't know. We'll see.
But anyway, kind of talk about what's going on, and Grandpa Hyuga gives them a history lesson of the Byakugan. He talks about how it's a Keka Genkai, and it's passed down through the Hyuga clan, but he says that it takes basically talks about exactly what Naruto said. It takes a lot of skill and determination and training in order to awaken the Byakugan, and even those who do manage to awaken it cannot necessarily control it or master it, and it takes a lot more on top of that. So basically, it's kind of setting up this area where it's like, yeah, chances are you haven't noticed it,
right,
or haven't been able to actually awaken it. But they're also saying like normally a member of the Hyuga clan would know if the Byakugan has been awakened. But the weird thing is, Grandpa Hyuga's like, I cannot tell for sure right now if you've actually awakened the Byakugan.
Which is weird.
Yeah, so I'm like, does that mean there's something going on and you just can't tell what it is, but you can't fully tell if it's the Byakugan, or is it just like there's something completely different and he's sensing it? I don't know. But basically he says, well, there's only one way to find out, and it's by fighting me. And then he goes outside and he does the awakening the Byakugan and the veiny eyes, which as disturbing as they are, they're kind of cool. But they are the way they did the animation of it in this one versus how they did it in Naruto is so much cooler.
Yep.
It's so much more realistic.
Animation's so much better nowadays.
Oh, yeah. So it was pretty cool. But kind of gives you that kind of gives you a little bit of flashback to that fear of Grandpa Hyuga, where you're like, oh goodness, he's in for a rough one now.
Oh yeah. So I guess he's just gonna try to almost like force him to use it by pushing him, because it's like pushing his limits. It can come out, which I guess that would make sense with like the hard training aspect of everything. But yeah. Anyways, but that's how the episode ends. It's gonna be Boruto versus Grandpa.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of hated that was the ending, because I was like, I want to say it so bad.
I am like all ready to watch. I'm ready for the next episode. I'm like, it's gonna be so good.
Yep. And we can't just binge these things, because we have to make the episodes as we're doing it. Otherwise, we'll ruin it for ourselves. We'll, be like, oh, well, this isn't a big deal because later. So we have to do this like episode at a time. So it's painful.
It really, especially we haven't done this in a month, guys.
Yeah.
Like, whew, it is. I rewatched it because it's been so long, and like, we should start recording more episodes more regularly.
We could just like make them 30 minutes and roll through a bunch of them. Since we're ahead, we can honestly make as many as we want.
This is true. Problem is we tangent too much.
We would tangent a lot.
But I like tangents. Hopefully you guys do too. If
Oh,
you
yeah.
hate our tangents, let us know. But
Speaking-
I honestly don't know if we can stop that.
Speaking of a tangent, so I didn't even write this down, but I had the thought when I was watching this episode. So Mitsuki, a few episodes ago, was looking at the moon and talking, right?
Yep.
Who does he look like?
Ooh,
Even like the robes, like, kind of look the same.
that's true.
I mean, I don't get the snake. That's where I would think, like,
yeah, that's a Orochimaru kind of.
I was like, oh, yeah, that'd be Orochimaru. But he's in there talking to the moon, and he's trying to find
his son.
his son. And the moon, if you remember, it's like the whole, sorry, I'm getting way too excited about this. My voice is going so high. But anyway, so the seal that they had, Sasuke was the moon, Naruto was the sun. And like, their sign of their clan, the Otsuki, is the moon. But the sign of I forget the first girl's name who came, chakra fruit, all that stuff. See, we had this. I had it good, like all the names before in the episodes, but it's been a month, so now I'm forgetting all of them again. The really bad girl, they ended up killing her at the end. It was like the main villain of the whole shipping.
that one.
Anyways, so like the clan, like everything together, their symbol is a sun and moon all together.
Yeah.
And so that's why, like, when they sealed sun and moon, if Naruto's so Naruto was the sun. So if Boruto is the sun, and then Mitsuki keeps on getting pointed towards stuff with the moon, and he's trying to find his son, maybe
somehow the son of
maybe
the guy.
Tornai actually did find a princess and have Mitsuki. It makes sense because they're the same age. Yeah, Hinata said no, so maybe he found somebody else who wants to live on the moon. You want to live on the moon with some puppets, you know what I mean?
Hey, who can turn that down?
Yeah, I got some cool tattoos. Anyway, so maybe that's where he's from,
Could be.
and that's maybe why he's investigating Boruto.
How did he get from the moon to the earth?
Well, apparently
There's got to be a jutsu for it.
Yeah, there has to be like some teleportation jutsu or something, or maybe they have some kind of device up there. Actually, they got up there from a portal in the movie. That's what happened. I think it was a portal in the movie. That's how they all got up there. It was a portal or like a ship thing. I forget. Anyways, I need to rewatch that movie at some point. You need to watch a movie. It's a good movie.
Seen it.
Yeah, this is good. But anyway, so yeah, he actually gives Naruto a run for his money, like, because he can like pull chakra because he's six paths. So he actually like Naruto can't really do too much because he's all well, let me release all the chakra. Well, that doesn't matter, by the
I
way.
can just absorb it.
Yep. So yeah, you guys should go watch that too. If you, it's the last Naruto movie. I think it's
probably on
Naruto
Netflix,
the
I would
last.
It's probably on Netflix. I know there's a lot of
Either Netflix or Hulu.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of the movies on both of them. So
Yeah, so that's what. So I kind of put all that together watching this episode. And I was like, all that makes so much sense, minus the dumb white snakes. That's the only thing that doesn't make sense.
do you think maybe like he or the guy on the moon and Orochimaru are like working together somehow? Or
That'd
did
be crazy.
Orochimaru have a daughter and become the wife of the guy who lives on the moon? Probably not.
See, I have no idea. But the guy in the moon is still trying to like protect the Earth from outside invaders, aka like, what happened last time with I'm so mad I don't have that name now. I'll write all the names down next time. But I wasn't even planning on talking about this. But
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that's maybe what Mitsuki is doing. He's investigating Boruto because he's like, this big. He's going to be the savior. All this kind of stuff. So I think he's almost a bodyguard for Boruto.
Yeah, so I'm like, initially I was thinking that he was somehow going to become an enemy, and I'm starting to think that maybe not so much now.
Yeah, no, I think, and how many times he saved him,
Yeah.
he's definitely much stronger than Boruto.
But he's also got the long, stretchy arms. Sorry, back to Mitsuki.
Yep.
That's so much Orochimaru-like.
It is. So I can't,
Maybe he went to Orochimaru to
Maybe
make
he
a clone
trained.
of him. Like, meaning the guy
Ooh.
on the moon, like, somehow worked and did a science experiment with him.
maybe
Because if he
he's
didn't
just
have
a
wife,
clone of that guy.
It could be.
I don't know. But he looks so much like that. Hair color, he's pale, talking about sun and moon,
Yeah.
talking to the moon. Anyways, I digress. But
Yeah, we're kind of just trying to. This is just our random thoughts. We have zero idea.
yeah.
If we hit anything, please don't tell us. We want to find out when we watch
Yeah,
the show.
I really want to find out. We could be way off too, but that's what makes sense to me. But anyways, guys, that's the end of this episode.
Yep.
We obviously with the announcements, we're live now, so feel free to. Well, actually, don't feel free. Engage with us. Do it. Do it now. Do it. But anyway, so
Order 66.
we'll make a Star Wars podcast.
We've been talking about it.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So make sure to engage with us, guys. Go watch all of our stuff. You know, if you're not caught up, go get caught up now, and make sure to watch us on YouTube. Feel free to subscribe there. Even if you're not watching on YouTube, but you like the show, you should just subscribe to it. It really helps us out. You know, we're starting from scratch. We're not pulling from anything else. So, yeah, we're laying all this groundwork.
Give us a like.
Yes. All that stuff really helps us out. It really gives us encouragement, too, to keep doing this, too. So, like, when I've been seeing, like, the Instagram photos going up and, like, all the likes on them, I'm like, hey, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I should go record an episode. So, yeah, it really helps us out, guys. Make sure, don't forget to go to our website, notaclick.net, and you'll find our podcast there. Find all of the places to watch us, listen to us, and, yeah. But I think that's it. I've already done the other announcements.
Shout-outs?
Am I missing anything? Oh, yeah, shout-outs. So we got some shout-outs because we have 2 5-star reviews from
5
Apple Podcasts. The first one is Trey Kelty. So thank you, Trey Kelty,
I'm
for...
on a podcast.
We don't care. Like, no one had done it yet, so I was like, well, we should just do it. And then, yeah,
Our
so...
second one was from Johnny Bailey.
I thought that was going to be louder. I muffled it. Yeah, and I said, I might be a little biased, but I really like the show. But anyways, guys, this has been Catching Up with Boruto, episode 7. We're on episode 8, so
So the
we'll have
7th
to
podcast, the 8th episode.
yeah,
of
we'll
the
have to
show.
equal those numbers at some point. I realized I messed up when I did it that one time. But anyways,
Oh, sorry.
you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Better late than never. That's our ninja way. See you guys. Take it easy.